If an individual stops being paid their income replacement benefit, yet they can't work because of their physical or whatever impairments, what are their alternatives? Relying on a partner, if it's possible. We know that in Canada, most people have two incomes. One income ain't going to be sufficient. So if that's the case, then the whole family becomes in crisis, and that contributes to the family burden, family breakdown and crisis. That's part of this. It's a combination of motivation that can be more exogenous or endogenous. So, I mean, we know that depression, for example, when you get to certain levels of depression, or moderate to severe depression, a clinical symptom of that is an amotivational syndrome. But obviously there are counter motivations. There's just a certain reality. I mean, if I'm a 52-year-old man, not that I'm a 52-year-old man, I'm only a 30-something-year-old man, right? Don't let this gray hair and no hair fool you. We know that as in physical jobs, as you get older, it's more and more challenging to maintain and be able to do those jobs. If you take any kind of break, right, it's going to be that much more difficult to get in there. There's going to be kind of a natural decompensation, deterioration, atrophy, whatever you want to call it. The same is going to be true for more cognitive demands. I mean, I probably recognized this by the time I was in grade 6. I mean, what happens from June 30th until the day after Labor Day? Can you write anymore? Can you read anymore? Can you do math anymore? Sorry?
Every undergrad attests to that, like September 3rd.
That's right, exactly. So, and we're talking about people who are having a good time during the summer, maybe working hard, but having relatively good time. We're not talking about people who have superimposed injuries of whatever sort on top of that, right?
It's not necessarily the injury is getting worse, but it's just the motivation is different.
It's motivation, but there's a cognitive factor. You write an exam today, and then try to write the same exam a month from now. How do you do? Does anybody do well? If you haven't studied between today when you've done your exam and 6 weeks later, would you have scored the same? No. So we're talking about very normal kind of atrophy kinds of process. Why do we lose these skills? Why do we have to practice skills to maintain them, right? In terms of brain functioning, we know that we're losing cells all the time, and we have to keep those neural pathways alive through practice. So that's not necessarily a motivational thing. It's a very realistic kind of prospect. What if I'm in IT or a fast-moving field? If I've been out of IT for 2 years, what are my chances of getting back in there again?
Like two more operating systems.
Exactly, that's right. So we're in a faster-moving world. It's not just IT, but there are many different occupational areas where now the pace of change is so rapid. Oftentimes it's a combination of the field plus technology, right? But it's also the explosion of just knowledge in almost every single field. Even professors tell me they can't keep up. You can't keep up with the literature these days?
I admitted how dumb I was in class the other day.
There you go. And he's one of the bright ones.
I'm thinking that I knew everything. There you go.
There you go, yes. So I think all these things come to play. So it might be a very legitimate motivational thing, but it might be just a fear. There's no way I can compete now, realistically, with or without my impairment, I'd say.